Gresham's law is a rule of economics that states that the bad will chase out the good. And it's targeting currency in particular. Imagine that you have a gold-based currency, and you have all these gold coins floating around, and then somebody starts drilling out the centers of the gold coins and replacing them with tungsten, which has almost the identical molecular weight. Well, anybody that has real gold coins is going to start hoarding them, and the only gold coins spent in the marketplace are going to be full of tungsten. The bad will have shoved out the good. And so it's fascinating how many other spheres this applies to, particularly with moral behavior. And the example I'm going to use, go figure, comes from Hollywood. Mudslinging. These Hollywood relationships that dissolve, and you just get both partners slinging mud at each other. The most recent example, the one on everybody's mind, or at least the one I've heard about, is Chris Brown and Rihanna. So, Chris Brown supposedly beat the shit out of Rihanna. Rihanna supposedly gave him herpes. And it's this big kerfuffle all over the media. And we've all been there ourselves. We've all been to high school. We've all had a messy breakup at one time of our life or another. And the thing about a messy breakup is that, or really any breakup, is you have so much information about the other person. You have so many little details you know about them, little personal quirks or fetishes, and you have naked pictures of them you could post all over the place, that it quickly turns into a mess. There's going to be mudslinging. And more often than not, it's not even going to be your ex that's slinging all the mud at you. It's going to be her little circle of friends, her gossip girls. These people that just out of this bloody-minded schadenfreude want to see people suffer. So they spread all these nasty rumors, these exaggerations, these half-truths, so on and so forth. And so you're stuck in this situation now where you're being attacked, they're saying all this nasty stuff about you, and are you going to start spreading rumors about, she did this, and then she did that, and this other thing? Are you going to start slinging mud back at her? You're going to stoop down to that level and just start hurting her. And so you get into this big contest of Rochambeau. You're kicking each other in the knees. You both look like idiots. Or you take the high road, and it seems like nobody's on your side. Everybody's spreading these rumors about you. Everybody's saying that you're a dirtbag and you're an asshole, and so on and so forth. Moral behavior. The bad chases out the good. But does it? Let's take another Hollywood example. One that's a little bit less familiar because he chose to take the high road. Mel Gibson. Now, Mel Gibson, and you can take the Charlie Sheen is another example. They're not perfect people, but they're not apologizing for everything they've done, but they're not slinging mud either. And so Mel Gibson got into this big situation where he left a really angry voicemail on his ex's answering machine, and his ex decided to send it to the paparazzi. And so we've all heard Mel Gibson flipping out and yelling. And what did Mel Gibson do? Dude ignored it. And so now, you get Chris Brown and Rihanna. They show up in an event, they're a punchline. Mel Gibson, anybody that hates Mel Gibson hates him because of that Jesus movie. And if you hate him for that Jesus movie, go watch Apocalypto. Guy's got millions of dollars, he's making the movies he wants to make, and they're damn good movies. You watch Apocalypto, you'll love him as much as you did back in Mad Max 2. Because here's the thing. Now, and half the people won't know what I'm talking about, by the way. Half the people they're tactical all the time. All they think about is tactics. I'm about to explain why you should take the high road. And these people, it's all tactical for them. They think, well, in this situation, it makes sense to take the high road, but in other situations, I'll take the low road and mudsling them, and that way I'll be more popular. They wind up just objectifying themselves, where like they're just this product of common consensus on what they are. They're not a person, They're not an ensouled being, not in their own mind. They are a product of what other people think of them. They are a perfect modern narcissist. Everything is tactics. Everything is manipulation. There's no true friendship. There's no true love. There's just status. I'm not making this video for them because they've never listened in the first place. See, the reason you take the high road when you're in one of these ugly mudslinging situations isn't because of tactics. It's because it's the right thing to do. All mess-ups are all breakups are messy. There's always going to be hurt feeling. There's always going to be little personal quirks. Nobody's perfect. But you don't go mudslinging because you're a human being, and they're a human being. Even if they're your ex, even if you're angry at them, you don't go spreading naked pictures of them or nasty rumors about them because they're a human being, and so are you. You should bloody act like one. And here's where we get back to Gresham's Law. You see, these two currencies, the pure gold and the gold with a core of tungsten, are not indistinguishable. You can tell the differences between these two things. Some people can. The people that always take the low road cannot tell the differences between tungsten and gold. But do you want to be their friends? This little circle of gossip girls around your ex that want to watch their friend and you kick one another in the knees until you're both bleeding. For fun. For tell-alls. Because of schadenfreude. Because they have nothing going on in their own lives, so they just want to see other people suffer. They can't tell the difference between tungsten and gold. Do you want them as friends? Whereas when you take the high road, yeah, for the short term you take some abuse, you get, shit on a little bit. But in the long run, the people that you actually want as friends recognize that. You become like Mel Gibson, where, once again, he's being judged on the quality of his movies. Whereas Chris Brown and Rihanna, hell, I don't even know what they do. Singers or something like that? They're Chris Brown and Rihanna, the walking joke. And the guys that can't tell the difference between the high road and the low road, the guys that see it as a tactical question, they become Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, who got famous, he's a little bit beta, but now he's famous, cheats on his wife. His wife physically assaults him, and he apologizes. This, what race is he? Kaplan Nation man, who decides to apologize, try and be tactical, to do the right thing in this situation to win points. Went from being the most famous golfer who ever lived to nothing. He's not going to be handing out awards. 10 years from now, nobody's going to know who he is because he applied it tactically. If instead he'd taken the high road, if he said, this is a personal matter, this is none of your goddamn business, yeah, go read the police reports. Go post those all over the internet. I don't care. I've got my own life that I'm living. He would have been fine 10 years down the road. Instead, he tacticked himself out of the war. Now I'm talking about mudslinging in this video, but really, I'm talking about morality in general. That so often it seems like cheaters and liars and manipulators and mudslingers, like they have the advantage over good people. You know, you go and take the test honestly, while a bunch of people are cheating on the test. You you own your car outright, and then there's some douchebag that has a brand new car leased, way more than he can afford. And yeah, the dumb girls, the idiots, the materialist degenerates, yeah, they're impressed with that stuff. They're impressed with the liar, the scam artist, the guy that lies on his bank loan, the guy that buys a house that he can't afford. They're all impressed with that. Do you think you're fooling Aaron Clary? You think Aaron Clary doesn't know that your brand new BMW is leased? You think he doesn't know that your horse farm, your horse riding ranch, you think he doesn't know that that's a loss every single year? You think he doesn't know that this rich guy with his big cookie cutter mansion and his brand new cars, Aaron Clary knows that guy's insolvent. Whereas the guy driving the older car takes care of his stuff, and, you know, maybe not as much flash. Doesn't seem like he's getting ahead. He's solvent. He's taking the high road. He's choosing the moral behavior. Economically, socially, you name it. The person that walks the high road, yeah, in the short term, the idiots are going to think that you're the bad guy, you're the loser, you're whatever. But you know what? Over the long term, the people you actually want as friends will notice when you take the high road. Because at the end of the day, who are you trying to impress? Men and women of decent character and of internal worth? Or are you trying to impress the gossip girls with their schadenfreude, their rumors, and their empty lives? Final word on this video, an addendum, if you will. The reason I'm thinking so much about this particular topic tonight is because I happen to be going through one of these mudslinging situations. Now, ironically, everybody actually involved in the situation is far less, like, it's messy. They're always messy, right? But the people actually involved are far less angry and vitriolic than the gossip girls are. The gossip girls are just there slinging mud. And it's not that interesting of a situation. It's just another personal bullshit drama that I have no interest in spreading hate or anything like that. People involved know what's going on. And so any comments referencing this situation I am going to delete on the comment thread because it's not really relevant to the thrust of this video. Anyway, folks, love you all. Irini out.